anything can happen in Formula One, and of course it usually does. Each team has their own story to tell here today, and they all want it to end the same way, on that coveted top step of the podium.
Such a beautiful day here at Albert Park. I wonder what will happen in this race at the start of this season. Let's see. Oh, it's a jump start from Sam ReaN, it looks like, so he has to go in the penalty. He has a penalty, of course. So what can he do about that? He needs to get ahead of these two Ferraris. He does! He gets to second place in the Ferraris. Oh, beautiful stuff from Sam ReaN, even though he is going to get overtook again. What can happen here? The Ferrari's overtaking the McLaren. Oh, McLaren is sticking with that Ferrari though at the rear end of it. But can it dive in the inside? It can't, because obviously it is a Ferrari. So as we kick on with this half, I think Sam ReaN still has to give that penalty for a jump start in at the start of this race. But now it might be under pressure here from the McLaren Honda. The McLaren Honda looks to overtake the McLaren Mercedes here. What can happen? But he backs off the McLaren Honda, and so McLaren Mercedes is dominant at this lap at the moment. But Sam ReaN in the McLaren Mercedes, of course, he's chasing up this Ferrari, and I think, yeah, this Ferrari, just reminded 2 penalties. So will he have to pit in this lap and next lap? He overtakes the Ferrari, but he gets a bad run in, so he has to go in the pit for his drive-through penalties. Terrible news if you're a McLaren Mercedes fan. Oh, this is heartbreaking for Sam ReaN. He goes dead last of this Grand Prix. Oh, terrible, terrible. But at least he now has a clear track to chase the pack at the front. And he has no penalties, I believe. So I think that would play in his favour. So, yeah, so that's the thing though. Can he catch up the pack ahead of him? It is a tough challenge for him, but I believe he can get to the back of him. But you never know if he can overtake him to chase back at the running pack here. So the 2 Ferraris are still first and second, of course. Third place, I believe, is the Williams. And that's it, I think. So, oh, he goes slightly wide in the McLaren Mercedes. He's off. Anytime he loses, it will damage his chances here of getting back into this race. Terrible, terrible news if you're a McLaren Mercedes fan, of course, back in 2000s, the early 2000s, when this car was dominant with Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard and Kimi Raikkonen. What days they were. Back in the day, of course, these cars were one of the best cars in F1 history, in my opinion. Actually, in my opinion, I think these cars look way better than the cars that look today. We're on the final lap here now, and it don't look like the McLaren Mercedes here will catch up to the others. It is such a sad day in terms of the results here. but Sam ReaN might be arguing at the stewards after this, and will get mad eventually because he would want a rerun of this race. Obviously that is a long shot. He can acquire the ability to restart this race, but it has to run by every other driver that raced in this race, and they'll have to say yes, we want a rerun. So about 100 to 1 of that chance happening. So yes. As we focus here on the difficult for Mika Hakkinen and Kimi Raikkonen, oh, he goes off again. He goes off. Ah, that's a shame. McLaren Mercedes is the best in its time, but it's the worst at this current era of time. And so that's gonna be it. It is a sad day to be a McLaren Mercedes fan. We are their 20th. Oh, terrible, terrible. But actually, I have word. They will restart. They will restart the race, but at this moment in time, welcome to the top 3 winners in this race. Incredible. So everyone decided to rerun this race because why the hell not? So it's 5 red lights and it's go, go, go! What a terrific start from Sam ReaN in the McLaren Mercedes, but he's sandwiched by the McLaren Hondas. He broke late. Oh, he's close to. Oh, he's colliding with McLaren Honda. The McLaren Mercedes is arch rivals of McLaren Honda here, and McLaren Mercedes just gets ahead, and all this up ahead of Sam ReaN. He gets the inside line. He overtakes McLaren Honda again. Two McLaren Hondas right behind his tail, and so this is a big crucial thing now for Sam ReaN in the McLaren Mercedes. He's right up the gearbox of Williams here. He overtakes the Williams. Now he needs to overtake another Williams to make sure he gets ahead here. So he's lining up Damon Hill. Of course, he is back in this, and he's overtaken by Sam ReaN. Damon Hill, the 1996 world champion, of course. He's under pressure again for the McLaren Honda. No, he's under pressure from another Williams. But as Sam ReaN like drifts away from the pack behind him and gains the 2 in front of him, well, 3 in front of him. What will happen with the 2 Williams behind Sam ReaN? Will they collide? The 2 different eras of Williams. Now, it looks like from Sam's T-cam here that the Ferrari is first, leading this race from a McLaren Honda, then another Ferrari, and then a McLaren Mercedes. So if there's a chance that both McLarens are on the podium from different manufacturers like Honda and Mercedes. Oh, Sam ReaN's looking to overtake the. He's overtook him. He's overtook him. I do not understand. Maybe he touched the rear tire, which slowed the Ferrari down, but the stewards don't care really. So yeah, so it's Ferrari, McLaren, Honda, and McLaren Mercedes here. So both McLarens at this stage will be on the podium. So this will be incredible if this stands. But Sam ReaN is not going to take third, of course. He wants the leading manufacturer of McLaren to be Mercedes here, representing Mika Hakkinen, David Coulthard and Kimi Raikkonen here. He goes in the inside though. He goes side by side with the McLaren Honda. McLaren Honda just edges his way ahead of McLaren Mercedes, but McLaren Mercedes brakes late. He overtakes McLaren Honda. McLaren Honda is sticking behind McLaren Mercedes though, but as McLaren Mercedes power edges away from McLaren Honda, he chases the Ferrari, the dominant manufacturer in all of F1's history. So can this final lap be the standing, or can McLaren Mercedes of Sam ReaN overtake the Ferrari up ahead of him? We'll have to find out now. So what needs to happen? I think needs to happen is Sam ReaN will have to brake late in these corners, of course, and realise that that's a good late breaker. And then obviously because the Ferrari up ahead is from the 80s or early 90s, that it can't cope with corner speed, and so the McLaren Mercedes can, because in the early 2000s they could do whatever they wanted because they were the fastest cars alive. So as he's gaining speed here, this could be for the lead of the race. This could be who wins the race and potentially who wins this championship here. Come on. Oh, he overtakes the Ferrari in the corners. He overtakes, but Ferrari's coming back at him. Ferrari hits the side pod of the McLaren Mercedes of Sam ReaN here, but Sam ReaN tries to brake late here. He does. He takes the lead. He goes wide. The Ferrari goes wide. He's under pressure now from McLaren Honda, but McLaren Mercedes of Sam ReaN goes on the gravel. This will obviously be a bit too much for Ferrari, but can McLaren Honda overtake the Ferrari here? He can't, and so it's McLaren Mercedes of Sam ReaN wins.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
What a win for McLaren Mercedes in first place, of course. And with that, I'll leave you to the other commentators of Crofty and Anthony Davidson.
After the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.